Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. This week we got more updates for the patch 9.2, like improvements for the Great Vault system, specifically when the Vault fails to provide meaningful gear upgrades. Instead, you will be able to walk away with other useful items, like guaranteed sockets on your best in slot gear, more renowned catch-up for your alts, and other useful currencies. Also, earlier this week, we got a new legendary vendor in Zereth Mortis that makes it easier to acquire some of the strongest class legendaries that drop from specific raid bosses without necessarily having to go back into those instances. This week, we also got some PvP class updates, dungeon tuning, and raid tuning for the patch 9.2. But right before we get into these patch 9.2 updates, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as to the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get more regular patch 9.2 updates or potentially future WoW expansion announcements, with a big expansion reveal scheduled for the middle of April. The Great Vault weekly rewards are very exciting to loot in the patch 9.2, especially since all endgame content has a chance of dropping tier set items. However, if your vault fails you and fails to provide meaningful gear upgrades, you always have the chance of walking away with tokens of merit, which can be traded to the broker vendors near the Great Vault for various rewards. But the items they trade have always been lackluster, offering you anima, soul ash, and cosmic flux for the tokens of merit, which doesn't really make you feel satisfied looting tokens of merit from your weekly Great Vault. The brokers will now carry more useful items that you can trade your tokens of merit for. Currently, they will be able to trade items like Ephemera Infused Mesh, which can guarantee sockets on specific Season 3 gear. The mesh is quite expensive, costing 6 tokens of merit, but it gives players a guaranteed way of acquiring sockets for their best in slot gear. This is likely the best item you can get from the Great Vault vendors, but they do sell other items. You could also trade your tokens for an overflowing chest of riches. 3 tokens will award you with roughly 3,000 gold. This is fantastic for players still trying to find some scratch when it comes to affording those expensive legendaries. Although personally, I think the chest of riches should award you with more gold. You can also get the certified vouchsafe, which increases your current Covenant's renown by 1 up to a maximum cap of 80. This item is bound to your Battle.net account and only costs 1 token. This is a very useful item if you're trying to catch up on renown levels for an alt character using your main character. You could also get Bottled Night Sky, which awards 25 Genesis modes, a unique ingredient for protoform synthesis, which is how you craft mounts and pets inside of Zereth Mortis. Treaty's Pattern of the Purpose, which awards 40 ciphers of the first ones and costs 1 token. This is a currency for upgrading cipher of the first ones, also found in Zereth Mortis. And finally, Tribute of the Enlightened, which awards 150 rep with the Enlightened faction of brokers, which also costs 1 token. This rep is very important in patch 9.2 when it comes to crafting your second legendary effect, but you do also get other rewards, like mounts, professional recipes, and more. The more vault rewards you build up, the more tokens you can take with you, up to a maximum of 6. A single character will be able to hold on to 12 of these tokens in their inventory. And these token rewards are miles better than what we had previously, with tokens offering a little bit of anima, a little bit of soul cinders, a little bit of stygia and cosmic flux, which were not worthwhile resources. This will make tokens more worth it because at least they contribute towards your character's best gear upgrades, with so many different sockets you can buy guaranteed for your character's gear, or catching up with your ult, or utilizing other resources for crafting and exploration in Zereth Mortis. Blizzard also added a new vendor in the main player hub of Zereth Mortis called Rendell. You might remember Rendell from Castle Nathria. Rendell is the new legendary recipe vendor and will sell recipes that drop from various bosses of the Castle Nathria raid. Without Rendell, the only way of getting some of those legendaries in the current patch of 9.2 is by queuing Castle Nathria LFR, though because Castle Nathria is not current content, it takes a long while for you to find an LFG queue, especially as a DPS character. Some of the best and the strongest legendaries today drop from the Castle Nathria raid, and this vendor offers you an easier alternative on collecting some of those legendary recipes. There's even multiple ways of buying these legendaries, with Cosmic Flux, Soul Cinders, Korthia Research, or Covenant Grateful Offerings. Honestly, adding a vendor like this in the game is a fantastic idea, but I really think Blizzard should take one step further and add a vendor, maybe, for the upcoming update of 9.2.5 that sells all Shadowlands legendaries. This will make it easier for players coming back for the patch 9.2 as well as alts in getting them set up and acquiring the best in slot legendary effects. It would be a very alt-friendly move that would simplify the legendary acquisitions and let us enjoy more endgame content on our old characters. For now, we only have Rendell, but Rendell is a great start. If you are trying to get some of those Castle Nothria legendaries for your alts, the easiest way to do that is to take your main back to Korthia and find Earmere, which will let you convert your Soul Cinders into a tradable box version. Send those boxes of cinders to your alt characters, so now you have a currency to acquire all of these Castle Nothria legendary effects. We also get other updates for the patch 9.2 like recent PvP tuning. We've already covered these changes on the channel, but here is the synopsis. Blizzard found fire mages overperforming in PvP content, so they're going after some of the most popular PvP talents. And overall, all three specs of mages are seeing a nerf to their survivability, specifically from a conduit being cut in half in PvP content. I doubt that these nerfs are enough to gas out the flame that is the fire mage, especially as they gain their double legendaries and tier sets in the next few weeks. But this change could make frost mages and arcane mages slightly more competitive to fire when it comes to raw damage in arenas and battlegrounds. We also see an enhancement shaman healing nerfed in PvP, specifically one conduit seeing its healing potential nerfed by 70%. Enhancement shaman healing to allies and friends is unlikely to stop being potent with this change, but it will make certain damage and abilities more valuable to spend Maelstrom on rather than healing spells in PvP, unless you might be in a really tough and dire situation taking damage from enemy combatants. This week we also got various Sepulchre raid boss changes, primarily a nerf to Halandras the Crab boss with a health nerf specifically for mythic content. The rest of the bosses saw bug fixes and minor adjustments to a handful of their mechanics. We're also seeing the nerf to the Tezavesh dungeon. The part 2 of Tezavesh, the Gambit, you see in the first boss health being nerfed slightly, but where the biggest nerf comes from is the ads that spawn inside of that boss fight. Those ads always felt like they overstayed their welcome. This change will likely be very noticeable by players the next time you run Solia's Gambit, Part 2 of Tezavesh. Part 1 of Tezavesh, The Streets, saw the Mises Oasis encounter get nerfed. Crowd control ability does half as much damage than before, and Security Slam is also far less deadly. Also, the players on the drum set during the special encounter of that dungeon are immune to both the crowd control ability as well as the damage of rotten food. This helps out the player stuck on the drum since they're literally stuck in one place and would normally die to abilities like crowd control and rotten food just by trying to play the dungeon encounter mechanic. And that's going to be all the updates we have so far this week for the patch 9.2. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about today's update? If you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, as always, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. As per always, the community Discord link is in the description of every single video. If you guys are regular viewers of the videos, join the Discord to join our community. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see all of you in the next one.